Hey everyone, Chef Geoff here. Welcome to my kitchen. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the old subscribe button. If you like what you're seeing, give me a big thumbs up. Today's recipe will be posted on chefgeoff.ca. So okay, if you want to think like a chef, you have to have confidence to be able to balance sweet and spicy. So with that in mind, we're going to play with that flavor profile. You're going to see it all the way through this dish. And what we're going to do is we're going to make Chipotle sweet potato soup. We're going to garnish it with some bourbon glazed pecans. It's going to have a really good balance of that sweet and spicy. There's going to be savory. You guys are going to love it. So let's get started. All right, guys, I got some like gigantic sweet potatoes here, and this recipe calls for about 3 of them, depending on the size. But I got 4 just in case, and they're huge. So I'm just going to go with 3 for this recipe. So I'm going to quickly go through just a really quick and easy way to not make a mess when you're peeling any kind of vegetable. Instead of standing over the garbage and trying to get all your peels into the garbage, just peel onto your cutting board. Get all your stuff on the cutting board. Make your mess there. Pick it up and get rid of it. This way, nothing's getting on the floor. You're not trying to work over a garbage can because that's just a losing battle. So, with this sweet potato, easiest way to cut something like this, and I talked about this in my knife skills video just earlier this week. When you want to cut something, lay it flat so you can keep it in place while you're cutting. And all we're doing here is just cutting kind of rustic size cubes. And I've got the rest chopped up just sitting in water so it doesn't discolor too much. And that's your cut sizes, guys. Okay, over here in my stock pot, I've just got some onions that I actually had left over from my knife skills video. They're actually red onions. I would recommend you use Spanish onion, but this is what I had on hand, and you can't let things go to waste here in your kitchen. I've got it on kind of medium to low heat, and it's been simmering for a couple of minutes with literally just some onions. I think there's some chopped up carrots in there left over from the video as well, and just oil. So now we're going to start adding some flavor components to start building that sweet and spicy flavor profile that we were looking for. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic. This is about 3 cloves of garlic. Work that in. And this is where we start really building our flavors. So I've got a spice blend here. We've got a little bit of chili flakes. This is 3 tablespoons chili powder. Bay leaf. This is some nutmeg, because cinnamon is completely banned from my house, and that's okay. That's the deal. And nutmeg is a nice option here. I would recommend adding cinnamon if you like it. We have some, and then 1 tablespoon of cumin. So in here we go. And we're just going to take a moment and really work in all these spices and let them get fragrant. Oh, it already smells just spectacular. Just once you get a little bit of heat on those spices, it really just makes the house smell amazing. We're just going to let this kind of come together for about 30 seconds. I love cooking with beer, you guys know that. I'm just going to deglaze with a little bit of beer. If you've got some red wine or white wine, go for it. Just a little bit here, and some for the chef too, why not, Delicious. We're going to cook that down for just a little bit. We'll let it do its thing. So we're also going to keep building that flavor profile. I've got it on about medium heat here. I have a little bit of brown sugar, and I think I'm only going to need like a teaspoon. So in you go. And the next part is the Chipotle, a really key flavor profile that we're going for here. This is Chipotle paste. If you're just getting whole Chipotles, I would say add about 2 or 3 pieces and make sure you chop them up beforehand. But this has already been pureed and so forth, so I'm adding about 4 teaspoons. We're really going to start building a lot of flavor ready for our sweet potatoes. You can just smell the smokiness that's coming out of that Chipotle. And for those who don't know, Chipotle is literally just smoked jalapeno peppers. So okay, we're ready to start adding our sweet potatoes. In we go here, and I've got some fresh rosemary that I picked from the garden. We're just going to add that in. We'll pick that out later. We're going to add now. The key thing when you're using a colorful vegetable like this, you want to add a fair amount of salt. So this is about a tablespoon of salt, and what that's going to do is it's going to help maintain the integrity and the color of that vegetable. Otherwise, it can deteriorate in color and so forth. So you do want it to keep that vibrant kind of orangey color. So I'm just kind of mixing this all together and letting the sweet potatoes really kind of get to know these all our spice blend that's working in here. And if you guys remember from my shrimp pappardelle video, I always talk about if you're maintaining a good flavor profile, why add water when you can add a flavorful broth instead? So this is going to call for about 2 liters, maybe 1.5 liters. So I've got some veg stock. You could add water if you like, but if you got veg stock on hand, that's just going to add a little bit more flavor to your soup. So in we go. It's 1 liter. And we'll go with 2 liters. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this thing to a boil. We're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Then we'll start making some bourbon pecans. You guys are going to love it. Cheers. Okay, guys. While our soup is kind of coming to a boil and letting all those flavors come together, we're going to make some maple bourbon pecans. This is going to be so much fun. So this is about 1.5 cups of pecans, and I've got it on kind of medium-low heat. And I'm just going to slightly toast this. All right, great. We're getting some really nice coloration happening on our pecans here. They're just getting a little bit of darkness on them and so forth. Oh, perfect. You're starting to smell it. You're getting the natural oils are starting to come out from these pecans. We're getting good color and so forth. So I've got some blends, straight Kentucky bourbon. It's the same stuff I used in my hashtag drink tips nor'easter cocktail. I'll put a link up for that as well. It's a really nice, sweet, clean bourbon. And we're going to deglaze here with about 1 ounce or so. See if it'll, oh, it's already all gone. Perfect. Okay, so we got our bourbon in there, and now we're just gonna add some maple syrup. So again, we're getting a little bit of sweetness. We're getting a little bit of that heat from the bourbon. And as I said, throughout the entire process of this recipe, we're trying to balance sweet and spicy. So we got a lot of maple syrup happening in there. There's a lot of sweetness, but we're going to add just a touch of cayenne pepper, and it will add a little bit of heat, and it will kind of balance out that kind of pure sweetness that was happening here. And this is just a pinch of cayenne. Perfect. We're going to let this kind of cook down. Oh yeah, this smells amazing. And these pecans will be so versatile. They'll be great. Just honestly, they're like homemade beer nuts. They'll be great. You can put them in salads. You can put them with your pies and desserts and so forth, or just like munch on them straight up, and they're going to be great. I got a little bit of sea salt here, just a couple flecks there, and the last thing is some cracked pepper. I also forgot to put some pepper in my soup as well, so we're gonna hit that as well. Perfect. Okay, just gonna mix this stuff up here, and we're just gonna lay it on a wax paper lined cookie sheet and let these kind of cool off. And once they're cooled, I can't wait to try them. But you know, they will stick a little bit, so you want to lay them as flat as you can. Okay, so our soup is ready to go here. It's been about simmering for about 20 minutes or so. Dead giveaway is if your potatoes are really nice and soft. So I'm going to be using an immersion blender. If you don't have one of these, you can blend it into a blender or a food processor. But we're going to add about 2 cups of cream. We're just going to start blending this stuff up and add the cream as we go. Oh. All right, great. Try not to make a huge mess. So I'm just going to give this thing a taste, see where we're at here. And we got a really nice consistency. It's all about the way a soup sits on a spoon, right? So it just kind of jiggles nicely on there. And we're just gonna give this thing a taste, see how it is. Oh yeah, the sweet potato really comes through. You're getting those winter spices, and then just a little bit of a kick right at the end of that chipotle. It's a really well balanced soup, and I think you guys are gonna love it. So the last little bit here is I'm gonna chiffonade just a touch of basil, because I do want a nice herbaceous finish with this as well. We're gonna plate it up. Perfect. Okay. And this is gonna go so well with these maple glazed pecans. Or sorry, bourbon glazed pecans. No mess, no mess, no mess. Great, so we're gonna add just a little bit more maple syrup. And we're just gonna kind of go around the edge. Just like so, perfect. And we're gonna scatter some of these bourbon pecans. They should just sit right there. There we go. And these are, again, this is all about balancing sweet and spicy. There we go. A little bit of fresh basil. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video today. It's all about balancing the sweet and the spicy. And we've really been able to build those two flavor profiles in the soup and in the pecans. So we're gonna pair this with, of course, a little bit of bourbon. Blanton's bourbon is just so nice. So let's give this thing a little taste and see how it goes. Just wonderful, perfect. And I think we're gonna add just a touch of cracked pepper onto our soup. And I think we're ready to go. So I'm getting hungry. That bourbon was delicious. So for my kitchen and yours, friends, bon appetit.